following the footsteps from her father and sister, overcoming the COVID-19 pandemic and the high pressures and difficult circumstances. Today, we highlight on Night Spotlight Miss Crystal Arscott. Crystal, thank you so much for joining us today. How are you doing?
Hello, thank you so much. I'm okay so far. Nice have
Awesome. So tell us a little bit about what was your family dynamic like, and what do you think your role was in that specific dynamic?
well, I in my family I saw where a lot of hardworking people have been there in my life, surrounded by I've been surrounded by a lot of persons that are hardworking. Example, my mom, she's a really hardworking woman. She never let the obstacles that she faced deter her from her goals, as well as my father. He's also one of those that also uh, showed me, or I saw where the sky's my limit. I should be the one to tell myself where to stop. So those are some of the dynamics where uh, no matter what you want in life, you can get it, no matter what the obstacles are. As long as you work for them, you can get them and you can achieve it in God's will.
Wow, so inspirational. And I see on your bio, and of course, we did so much research before doing this interview. And of course, we had a conversation just before starting this interview. You are a global scholarship, Korea scholarship awardee. That is
Yes, yes,
amazing. And you're coming straight from out of UTech.
yes.
Tell us a little bit, before we get into that, tell us a little bit about your interests and hobbies.
So some of my interests include I like reading, and one
Mhm.
of my biggest interests is health and wellness. So my interest sparked my passion to focus on a degree or a career in the health sector. So that's where it led me
Yes.
to do a bachelor's degree in dietetics and nutrition to see how I can help with alleviating the pandemic of non-communicable diseases in Jamaica.
Wow. That's really good. That means you're a cost cobra, is that correct?
Yes, that's
So
correct.
what was that experience like, being at UTech and of course you being a cost cobra? What was that specific experience like for you?
Well, it's a whole new experience, a whole new ball game, being around different fields and people and learning different subjects. Yes. So when I first started UTech, I was so shocked. It was basically my first culture shock where I was like, why am I studying courses outside of dietetics? We learned about like IT and so on. So it gave us a broad spectrum of other fields. So we were
Yes.
more networkable, and it gave us hands-on experience to know that, hey, you're not just intellectually smart, you're also hands-on and technical.
All right. And of course, you were at UTech during the COVID-19 pandemic, and you had, it was just an uncertain moment for everybody during that pandemic. And you found a way to still stay on your horse and keep things going. Tell me about your experience, during the pandemic. What were some of the difficulties that you faced? The students who are watching, they need to know, what did you do during that specific period of online learning, transitioning to that aspect of learning, and how you overcame that.
So I unfortunately experienced the pandemic going later down into my third semester. So
Yes.
during that time frame, we'd be preparing to go deeper into my field of study, dietetics. So with that pandemic, it was a whole like a chicken running around with its head gone. So it's like, how do I get from this
Yes.
point? So I'm like
Yes.
always seeing a teacher to not seeing a teacher. So some of the things, some of the challenges, the biggest challenge for me was connectivity, getting onto the classes where all had to learn Zoom, we all had to learn Google Meet, classroom, which is all a headache because we're like, how do we do this? How do we do this? I'm not getting on. I'm not getting on. So it basically caused a disruption in the whole learning process. So some of the tips that I did for me was to ensure that I downloaded all my notes from the Google from the UTech online UTech and ensure that I read them.
Moodle, from Moodle, yes.
Yes, the Moodle, I read them all, and I always try to keep up to date with the classes before going to the classes. Also, seeing
Right.
the assignments that were there and did them in advance. So, in case I don't have any connectivity that day to join the class, I'm still able to submit my notes. So, I'm still ahead of the class, even if I'm not there physically or online. So, those are some of the stuff that I did. And also
All
just
right.
prayed because it was like a rough time.
All right. So basically, what you're telling me is that you had a lot of discipline because what you're talking about is it sounds very simple on paper, but so many students struggle just to get to that point to be able to do your assignments in advance and prepare for classes in advance and ensure that everything is done on time. So let's say I'm a struggling student. Currently, I have a big issue with procrastination, and I just don't know just how to get out of it. What do you suggest that I do so that I can be, you know, as get on your level, reach that point where I'm able to do my classes on time, do my assignments on time, prepare for my tests on time? What are some of the tips that you can give to me so that I'm able to do that?
One of the tip that I'll give to anyone, especially coming from the queen of procrastination herself, is
Oh,
remembering the goal. Remember why you started in the first place.
yes.
With always keeping this goal in mind, you know that with this goal, I have a set period of, I have a goal in mind. So I have this time frame, this deadline that I must meet. This deadline means that you must complete your degree in 4 years. That was my goal for myself. So I told myself I will not repeat a course. I will not go over my prescribed time frame for my degree. So what I did,
Mm-hmm.
I ensured that each time as we start a new semester, we are given a syllabus of the courses that we'll be doing and the required assignments. So what I did for myself was to always keep up to date with this syllabus. As the teacher is going along, I know the class that I'll be doing next. So I ensure that even if I don't want to, the latest Netflix look really good. I just tell myself, put this to the side and let's do this first. Then afterwards, I can enjoy the rest of my day with whatever I'm doing. So that are some of the things. Just always keep in mind the goal that you had for yourself when you started, when you did your application to attend UTech or any university overall.
So the one thing I'm pointing out from all of what you're saying is remembering your why. You must remember your why. That's very important. But I must dive into what do you do for fun? I mean, as university students, we want to have fun. We want to go to our friend with our friends and have maybe touch this one party. What do you do to kind of relax and detangle? Or what did you do during that period?
So I'm a natural homebody. However, some of the stuff that I did for fun was my friend, Keja, she introduced me to like the world of K-drama and K-pop. So those are some of the stuff that I found
Ah,
interesting, as well as my friend Shari, she introduced me to her church, and going to the church also helped to relieve the stress of the week that was there before to prepare me for the new week. So some of those are some of the stuff that I just meditating and not thinking about too much of what's happening around me and just thinking, I'm getting a new week to start fresh. So those are some of the stuff that I did for fun. Not
awesome.
much.
And and I remember you mentioning the the K drama, and of course you are a global scholarship recipient for a Korea scholarship. And if I remember, K drama is Korean drama, correct? So
Yes.
it means you like the culture in Korea. So tell us a little bit about that specific scholarship. And of course, you can tell the viewers where you are now. I learned earlier that you're possibly in a different time zone and the culture is
Yes.
different. Walk us through a little bit about the Global Korea Scholarship and how did you get the scholarship and just the experiences that you have, being in Korea.
Yes, so I actually learned about this scholarship after graduating UTech. During that time period where you're just home, you've not gotten any emails about congratulations, you have gotten this job. So you keep searching your emails, right? So during that time frame of
Mhm.
searching my emails, I'm actually subscribed to the UTech alumni, and they tend to send emails. So one day I
Ah,
found an email that they had sent, and I was just scrolling through and I saw scholarships and other stuff. So I clicked on the scholarship portion and there was many different scholarships, the US, Canada, Berlin, so on. But I was like, no. Then I saw Korea. I was like, oh, Korea. And I went on it. I was
yes,
like, okay, let's
yes.
see. So I was like, Mom, is it a scam? And she was like, no, just check and see. So I went to the meeting with Miss Johnson, and she gave us a walkthrough of what the scholarship is because she is also alumni of the GK scholarship. She's currently back in Jamaica working with the government, and
Yes.
basically she enlightened us about the scholarship and how it built her as a person and how it gained the bridge. And yeah, some of the stuff in Korea, like the food is interesting, the culture is fun to learn more about the culture, like as well as the language. I'm always interested in learning about different cultures and language. So anyone that is interested in learning different cultures, just keep checking your emails because scholarships are there, and just your sky's your limit. Just check, just apply. Anything can happen.
Yeah,
It
and
happened for me too.
yes, it did. And it's important to highlight to all the nights that are watching, the students that are watching, that opportunities are out there. It's
Yes,
it's just that they need to try and reach out. At UTech here we have a scholarship office. Mrs. Pauline Maduri is the head of that office, and they can reach out to her and see if they can get grants. Of course, we also have student welfare as well. Students who are struggling, they can. So there's a lot of opportunities for students, and I'm so happy. I'm ecstatic that you would have capitalized on that specific opportunity to be a part of the global scholarship, the Korea scholarship. And tell me, it's a full scholarship, right? So your boarding is covered, your tuition is covered, and your all you have to do is maintain a good GPA. So
yes.
I want you to walk us through the culture now, because students they need to know what is it like in Korea? What do you eat? Um, what is the money like? Do you have any Korean money somewhere back there you could show us? I don't know. Walk us through that culture, the culture shock that you got when you got to Korea.
Some of the stuff that I found interesting was when I first came to Korea, persons they they drink a lot of coffee, I must say. Like
Lots
Americano.
of coffee.
For us
Yes.
Jamaicans, we drink our coffee, our Mountain Peak coffee with our primo and our sugars. They typically, which is steaming hot. But in Korea, they drink a lot of Americano, which is basically cold brew coffee, which is black coffee.
Mm.
I At first I was
Oh,
like, but then afterwards, I'm
yes.
also drinking it. So that's some of the culture shock that I had. Uh, the difference in money, the currency is a whole difference. Like their biggest currency is a 50,000 one. Uh,
A $50,000 bill?
yeah,
Oh,
and
okay.
other
That's enough
shops
money.
like yeah, it's a decent amount of money.
What does that
I think I
translate
have a
in?
bill. I probably show it. to you after. And also they're technological where they use their phones for everything. The fast internet speed, the
Hmm.
organization of everything. It's just like mind blowing.
So okay, so I'm a Jamaican and I'm now in Korea, and it's
Hmm.
Sunday. I'm feeling for some rice and peas and some stewed chicken, something, maybe some fried chicken.
Hmm.
Can you find that type of stuff when you're there?
Unfortunately, I didn't. So if I
Oh,
want to eat rice and peas, I'll have to do it myself by preparing it all. It's tiring, but it's like a reward after cooking. So yeah, but I eat the Korean food too because there's really delicious foods that are here that meets my needs. So if you're vegetarian, uh, it may be hard, but if you're like me that eats chicken, it's you can find chicken meals, or if you have no restriction with your diet, you'll have fun here because the food is actually affordable to some extent depending on what you have.
all right. So let's track back a little now. So we're on the journey. You went to UTech and you did your degree in nutrition. That remind me of
Dietetics
what
and
it is?
nutrition. Dietetics and
Dietetics
nutrition.
and
Mm-hmm.
nutrition. And then you
Mm-hmm.
got your upper second class honors, you applied for your
Mm-hmm.
scholarship, you got through. But let's track all the way back to high school, because
Mm-hmm.
when you're in high school, you have to conceptualize what you wanted to do in university, correct? So
Yes.
let me know a little bit about the subjects that you enjoy the most in high school. And of course, you can pick up your high school too. Let us know the high school that you went to, and just walk us through a little bit of your high school journey.
So I had the pleasure of going to the Ozemarty Technical High School. So I
Woo!
so I did 6 years there, and uh, for my vocation, they were vocation based schools, so they made you have a skill as well as the knowledge that they gave you. So my field of study was home uh, food and nutrition, basically. So I did food and nutrition, clothing and textile. I did hospitality management. I did sciences, and I did the others such as maths, social studies, Spanish, and so on. So I had the opportunity of learning a second language, which for 6 years Spanish, as well as food and nutrition. So I got to learn the intricacy of food and how it works, not just seeing it and just eating. You don't look at it when you're, how does this work on the body when you're just eating food? But learning about it, I was like, oh, I can actually use this to cure
Yes.
illness because our food is our medicine. It's
Yeah.
the first medicine that we have. So it really just okay, being medical doctors, they are trained to treat us, but I don't want to treat, I want to prevent. So that's where the passion stem to go forward with your food because based on the fact that food insecurity in Jamaica is still there, it's not gone completely.
Yes, that's
It
true.
causes diseases in the body. So not having balanced diets, poor protein intake, high carbohydrate intake, high sugar intake, high fat intake. So some of those stuff I want to educate people about eating properly to help to reduce their risk of diseases. So that's some of that was one of my most interesting subjects in high school, just food and nutrition, learning about food and how it
Yes.
works in the body.
Well, big up Jose Marti for delivering quality education to you and allowing you to transition into university. I must ask, you have, and this is the controversial question, you have CMU, you have UWI, you have STO, NCU, you have so many other universities out there, but you decided to apply to the University of Technology Jamaica. Why UTech?
I don't know, many other students they probably applied to like three universities and saw which one took them, but I was so determined. I was just like, you take only. So one,
Yes.
my father is an alumni of UTech. His friends are also alumni
Oh,
of UTech. as well as my sister. She's an alumni of UTech. She went to dentistry school. So it's like, okay, I'm going to UTech too. Why? UTech, I've always heard UTech is a practical school. Me being a practical learner, I like to do things and so on. So it's like other schools are good. They do provide you with the education that you need in the system, but then there's something special that I heard of UTech where practical knowledge
Yes.
is very key in their curriculum. So
Yes.
it's like, okay, UTech it is. Plus, UTech provided my degree comparing to other schools.
Yes, and I must agree with you on that point. The university does provide a lot of practical and hands-on courses, and it gives you that opportunity to gain experience, to dive into what you really want to do, what you need to do. And for those persons who are more hands-on, for those persons who want to gain a more hands-on feel in terms of their learning style, I think UTech is definitely the choice of the university. All right, let's head straight into your future plans now. You are studying a master's degree in Korea. Tell me a little bit about the universities that you attend in Korea. And of course, you transition from a local university and now you're at an international university. Is it the same? Do you have, is there dorms there? Are you living on a dorm? Is there a mascot? What is the university like? Walk us through it.
So I'm currently attending the Kyungpook National University, where I'm doing my master's
Go
in
again.
food science.
Chong,
Kyungpook,
tell me. Chongpuk?
Kyungpook,
All
Kyungpook,
right. Go ahead.
Kyungpook National University, where I'm doing my master's in food science and biotechnology with a major with food biotechnology. So their mascot is actually a cow, a bull, actually.
Wow.
Uh,
Okay.
I don't live on the dorms. I live in a apartment, a small studio. I live outside of the
Mm-hmm.
school due to more comfort or privacy or just the more suitable to my style. The learning style, uh, there's not much difference because with the school that I'm currently attending, I can only speak for my school. They're just the same, hands-on. They want you to have practical knowledge. So
Yes.
it's just similar.
And and is the English there a little bit different? How are your lecturers? Do you have to learn some Korean so that you're able to socialize and walk us through that aspect of it, the language barrier?
So to apply to GKS, once you're successful, you must learn 1 year of Korean. It's mandated. You must study 1 year of Korean, as well as sit two exams, their Korean proficiency exam, within the year to move on to your master's degree. And the minimum grade that you must get for that test is three, topic three, which basically means that you're lower intermediate. Uh, so by God's grace, I was able to score that exam within the first 5 months of being here, not knowing Korean at all. And so with that, it built my knowledge of what this language is about. It built my interest even further, as well as my respect for the language, because Korean language is a language that they protect. It's well protected. They respect their language. And I built that form of respect towards the language. So I may not speak well, however, my listening skill has increased, being that my current university is half and half. They use English and they use Korean. Sometimes they may use Korean more than English. And in the laboratory that I'm currently staying or studying or training, it's mainly Koreans and they speak Korean. So that helped to build my proficiency even more currently. So I use Korean on a daily basis to communicate with my peers. And it
All right.
also helps you to speak with others.
Awesome. Can you teach us a Korean word? Uh, maybe just hello.
Okay, to say hello is 안녕하세요.
Animaseo?
안녕하세요.
Break it down.
안,
Yeah.
정,
Chong.
안녕하세요.
An chong yo aseo.
안녕하세요.
All right. I love it. I love it. All right. So tell me a little bit about your mentors. Of course, everyone who is watching, they need someone to look up to. It's always important to look up to someone when you're in your career or different stages of your life. So you can walk me through those mentors that you looked up to in order to get where you currently are.
Uh, Actually, my mentors are just regular people on a daily basis. Seeing others, how they have strive. I may not know you, but just seeing someone being successful from my point of view, I'm like, wow, I want to be like this person. I strive to for excellence just like them. So just seeing random persons, example, my first mentor, or not the first, but one of the major ones I can recall is reading the book Ben Carson, his autobiography,
Ah,
where
yes.
he's pediatric neurosurgeon, and he was the first to actually separate conjoined twins, a black neurosurgeon. And seeing his
Wow.
background, reading about his background, he came from a very dysfunctional family where at one point he was uneducated, poor living
Yes.
conditions, and he did not make this his whole life. He didn't
Yeah,
let
it didn't
his
hold him
past
back.
deter
Yes.
yeah, he didn't let his past or his current situation define his future. So what he did, he let this mold him to become the man that he is today. So seeing some of those, just seeing people, they don't let their obstacles deter them. I said, okay, just random people will be my mentor. Just seeing them strive forward, I can do it just the same. So I would say to others, just the regular person around you can be your mentor. Just look at what they do and say, I can do the same, or I can do much better. Your biggest mentor should be yourself, actually.
Yes, I agree with you wholeheartedly. And Crystal, I see a bright future for you. Just sitting here and listening to you, you're so inspirational. I would like you to share with me, do you have any plans to be Doctor, Dr. Arscott, or
Yes,
maybe Professor Arscott? Tell us a little
yes.
bit about that.
So some of my future goals after completing my master's, I'm open to join a PhD program to study more about herbal nutrition, herbal food, just herbal
Yes.
medicine, because Jamaicans we're very still prominent in herbal medicine. We use a lot of herbal medicine and they're still not well studied. So I want to tap into this field to see how we can use these unutilized herbs that we have in our country to help with curing, not saying curing per se, but saying helping the treatment of cancers that is still widespread around the world, as well as doing my PhD not just to gain knowledge, but also to share knowledge by being a prof. I hope to become a professor to share with the future STEM students to help them all along the way to become better students than I was previously.
Awesome. And as we're wrapping up, I want you to share with us some nutrition tips that we should practice to improve or better our health. So walk us through some nutrition tips now. Give us that expertise that you have in your field.
Some tips would be ensure that you have a balanced diet. A balanced diet means that you're taking in your fruits, your veggies, your water, ensuring that you're reducing your salt and your sugar intake, your fat intake. Instead of having fried foods, try to steam your foods, stew your foods, try to have proper sleep because with just balanced diet and exercise won't cut it. You also need to ensure that you're getting in your 8 hour snoozes. Exercise at least 30 minutes per day is good. If you can increase, but with your doctor's supervision. As well as just go to your nearest nutritionist close to you at any health center. They can guide you further along in regards to weight management or just how to uh, improve your eating pattern and your relationship with food.
And let me know, what advice would you give to your freshman self and those who are looking to pursue nutrition?
Okay, so some of the advice I'll give to the freshman Crystal. So it's okay to fail. It's your first time, it's a new world. It's okay to stumble. You will get yourself up back once more. So it's okay if you fail that one course. You can do it again in the summer. And then you have added knowledge than you had before to pass that course with a better uh grade. It doesn't determine you. It doesn't define who you will be for the
Yes,
future.
yes,
So I'll say don't let these obstacles that you just face define who you are. Don't let it stop you from completing your degree. Also, don't be burnt out. Ask for help. Know when to ask for help. Don't do it alone. We're a community for a purpose. We should work together and seek help from others as well as have fun and network. Join clubs so you can also have fun and as well as meet new people as well as learn skills. So you're basically doing all of that by just joining a club and a society. So those are some of the tips that I'll give to anyone. Just try to relax. It's okay. You're gonna see yourself on that stage in the future, getting your degree.
all right. And one final thing, Crystal, for all of those cost cobras that are watching, that are studying a course just like yours or something similar, what would you tell them now? They're possibly in a difficult spot. They're struggling with some of the courses. What's something that you would say to all the cost cobras that are watching this video?
Uh, I know one of the biggest problem for many cost students is Gen Chem. So I'll say try to build a community and build on each of your strengths and weaknesses. Some of you may be good at
Yeah.
unit one, some of you may be good at unit two. Try to share the knowledge and tutor each other. Try to go to all the tutorials that the teachers have. Try to do all your tutorials. Try to look on YouTube to teach you what you may fall short on. Those are some of the stuff that I'll guide students, as well as try to look more into your field to see how you can actually utilize your degree. Because some of us, I can speak for myself, after leaving, getting my degree, I was like, what should I do next? Where should I go? So these are some of the questions that you should ask. What is my goal after my degree? What can I do to utilize this? And how, in the course going on and doing your course, how can I network to ensure that I meet this goal in the future? Those are some of
All right.
the tips that I'll give.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us today, Crystal. You have such a bright future ahead of you. I can't wait to see what happens in the coming years for you. And I hope you continue to carry on the Knights legacy, the UTech legacy. Until next time, folks, I'm your host, Shamir Martin, and thank you for watching Knights Spotlight.